Hi, Katie here from Align and Advance. Since I help people regain their riding confidence, I thought I'd share a little bit about my journey, how I started with riding, and how I realised that people might need services like mine. Um, I have been riding since I was 6 years old. I became absolutely obsessed with horses after watching I think it's 1944 or 1945 the movie was made, the movie National Velvet with Elizabeth Taylor as a child. um, she wins a thoroughbred in a raffle. And I used to beg my mum and dad, and there was a little local shop to us, like just a little convenience shop. And the woman that ran it, her name was Jo. And I used to say to my mum, "Do you think Jo will have a raffle? Do you think Jo will have a raffle so I could win a horse?" No. Um, but I bugged my parents and bugged them and bugged them and bugged them. My sister and I were taking riding lessons anyway, and we put a pony on our Christmas list, and Father Christmas delivered. That's amazing. Kids, Father Christmas often doesn't bring animals, but I don't think he's allowed to anymore. But I'm very old. Back when I was young, he was allowed to bring animals. So yeah. So we got Christabel, our first gorgeous little 13-2 grey that my sister and I shared on Christmas Day when I was 6. And then we moved to a fantastic livery yard where there were loads of kids and there was tons going on, and the people that ran the yard used to put on these amazing horse shows for us, and we'd win massive rosettes and get really big trophies, like way bigger than our achievement deserved. So we were a ragtag bunch, but it was brilliant. And there was a little Shetland pony at that yard, and like he had no jockey, so I ended up riding the Shetland pony, and he was really naughty, and none of us cared, and we were all crazy, and confidence was not a problem for anybody. And then as time moved on, I grew out of my 13-2, and then I bought this big boy called Alfie, and we had him on loan first of all, and then my mum and dad bought him for me, and he was magnificent and really naughty, and I didn't care. He was so much fun, and I never ever suffered with nerves, even though a lot of people would have said that he was terribly behaved. I just couldn't see it. He was just perfect to me. And he used to go out hacking with a friend I had called Emma, and we used to just go berserk on these hacks, and just didn't care at all, and just had bags and bags of confidence and so much fun. Then I got older and got my own business, and things started to get really busy, and I couldn't do as much for Alfie as I would have liked. So I sold him to a mother-daughter partnership, and he went off to live in Staffordshire and have a great time. So that was nice. Not nice for me, but nice for him, which was why I did it. Obviously, I cried my eyes out. And then I came out of horses for 15 or 16 years. Carried on with my business, had 2 children. And then one day my eldest daughter said, "Oh, Mum, I think I'd quite like riding lessons." Yes, I was so happy. So that Christmas we bought the girls a block of riding lessons each, and like some boots and a hat and some jods and things. And I'd forgotten how expensive it all was. So yeah, we got them all those things, and then my eldest one, Olive, she loved it, and my youngest one, Edie, just wasn't so keen. She just didn't like the riding school environment. She didn't like people watching her, even if she had a private lesson, because there were other people doing lessons. She thought they were looking at her, and she didn't like it anyway. But then she used to say that she really wanted a pony, but she didn't want these like riding lessons at the riding school. So I just thought, okay, fair enough. And then Olive started to get better and better at riding, and then I started to beg my husband Rob saying, "Oh, do you think we could manage it? Do you think we could get another horse?" And then, well, we were away on holiday in Italy. A friend of mine contacted me with a picture of the most gorgeous pony, who was going up for loan because his owner was going off to uni. And that was our little Toby. And we went to see him, and Olive sat on him for about 30 seconds. And I was like, yes, please, please, can we have him? Please, can we have him? And we got Toby. And he is the best. He is adorable. However, it didn't start out easily. So we found a yard and we took him to the yard. Well, his owners dropped him off, and he was used to being quite sort of free range. So they had him at home, and it was like just to sort of open the stable door and he could go out wherever he liked type situation. So he was quite sort of independent. And then we moved him to a livery yard where it was like tie up outside your stable, groom and you know, in and out of the field at certain times and everything. And I think he found that sort of quite difficult, which is understandable. So he was quite fidgety and bargy. First of all, he's absolutely not like that now. He's an angel. But that was kind of a little bit hard managing children around him. And then, as far as the riding was concerned, he was spicy. He was very spicy, first of all. And it was a bit of a shock, to be honest. And I was really, really worried. We got him in the June, and I remember thinking to myself, I'll see if we can stick it out until Christmas and see how things go then. Because it was really, really hard. He, not going to go massively into his behaviour because I'm not a trainer. I deal with the people, not the horses. But he frightened us at times. I'll just be totally honest. And at the time I wasn't honest because I really, I'd wanted this for such a long time, and I was bursting. I was really, really happy that my girls really wanted a horse. They were really happy to have him. His owners are absolutely lovely. And we were just so lucky to have him on loan while she goes off to uni, and, you know, to be trusted with someone's beautiful horse. But he wasn't having a nice time, and we weren't having a nice time. And I did start to get nervous, and I've never been a nervous rider, and I'm not a nervous person. I'm not a worrier. And I started to worry, and I started to feel, when I got it would start when I got in the car. I would leave here, we'd start getting all our yard clothes on, and I'd be driving there, and I could just feel it bubbling up, and it was just horrible, and I'd never ever felt that before. And I just thought, this wasn't what horse ownership was like when I was younger. Not at all. I remember just not having a care in the world. And then, as far as the riding was concerned, there were a few real tricky moments. Touch wood, just finding wood things now. I've never come off of him, but Olive did have one quite nasty fall off of him, and it was just, every time you got on him, he was just like a coiled spring, which is horrible for him as well. Like, you don't want your horse to feel like that, but it was horrible for us too. And I just thought, I think we're out of our depth. I really thought this pony was going to be the one. And, you know, my Alfie, my big boy that I had last, you know, he was full on. He was 16-1, like hunter type, big boy. And this 14-2 little cob cross Welsh loony was making me feel so anxious, and it just didn't make sense to me. It was so alien, and I just thought I really need to do something about this. So I just thought, right, I'm going to throw everything at it. I already knew a really good instructor, so we got her involved. It was fantastic, absolutely brilliant. So, you know, she taught us the riding side and sorting out his behaviour. And there were a few, like, she helped us around the stable as well, not just in the arena. So she would just give us some tips, like, oh, when he's doing this, just do this. And she was absolutely fantastic. She was a godsend. So that was kind of phase one of the instructor, but then still we were feeling so nervous and so tense getting on when she wasn't there. So I had to start working on our mindset to get us to be able to be in a place to exercise him on our own. You know, we had one lesson booked a week, and there's no way we were only going to ride him once a week. So we needed to start enjoying it and feeling relaxed and feeling good for him, because if we'd put in all this effort in our lesson and got to a really good place in our lesson, and then we were getting on and we were tense during the week, that was just going to upset him again. So for his sake and for our sake, for our enjoyment, we needed to sort it out. So then I started to look into what we could do. I already knew quite a few techniques and a little bit about energies and things like that. So I started researching more and working on it and putting into place a plan. My girls never really kind of got involved in that part, but I would just kind of talk to them. We didn't sit down and do like a formal training every night. There's no way that they would get involved with that. That's just not something like, you know, 10-year-olds want to be doing. But by me changing my attitude and my outlook and working on myself, I was able to just kind of drip feed them things to make them feel better. And then every time we rode, I would get on first, and then they would get on, and then gradually they started to ride. So then my youngest was like, right, oh, well, I want lessons on him now, and his behaviour changed just so quickly. So then my youngest started to be able to have lessons on him, and now she's a great rider too, and everybody's happy. So yeah, it really took me by surprise, though, that I felt nervous of this little pony that wasn't doing, like, I think if I'd have videoed, I didn't video any of his shenanigans, but I think if I'd have videoed it, you'd have laughed at what I was nervous of. I don't think it was really that bad, but in the moment it felt really bad. And like he does when he gets still now, sometimes if he's a little bit fresh and he gets excited about something, he does these like little bunny hops side to side. And honestly, when you're on the ground, they're like this, they're tiny, but they feel massive. They feel really big. You know what it's like as a rider. It feels so huge. And I don't actually think I think it was just settling in, and you know, I'd had like a 15-16 year break. The girls were inexperienced, and I don't think it was that big a deal, but at the time it felt big. And yeah, I didn't want to admit that it felt as big as it did, because I just didn't want it all to stop, because I knew that we could do it. But I just thought, right, okay, I need to learn everything I can to regulate ourselves, to be able to enjoy this. And yeah, we can. I mean, since then we've moved to a smaller yard, and I think that's helped him a lot. And it's got just a really, really relaxed vibe there. I mean, another horse has come to our yard that was very, very unsettled at his last place, and he's just really, really happy, and it's just a joy to see. They're all the horses and all the owners at our yard are just love it, and honestly, it's the best thing we ever did. But yeah, so basically we got the trainer, worked on the mindset, and that's the part that I'm not a riding instructor at all, but that's the part that I help people with, because that's the part that where I didn't really know where to turn. There are, I mean, I only ever would have chosen this one instructor that we've got because I adore her and I just think she's absolutely brilliant, and so do my girls. But there are multiple trainers that we could have turned to, because there are lots of really, really good ones. But I didn't know where to go for us, we needed more, like in the hour that we have her a week, she works on us and the horse. But in the in between time when we're on our own, we needed tools to be able to put into place to be able to enjoy it. So that is where I help. So I thought I would just share that with you. Just our little journey with me, Olive, Edie and Toby. Can I just say, he's perfection now, little Toby. I don't think he was that naughty in the beginning. Like I said, it just felt a bit scary for a while. But yeah, we absolutely adore him, bless him, and we're so grateful to be able to have him on loan. So yeah, I hope that helped. So if you ever struggle with anything like that, just drop me a message or put something in the comments, and I'd love to have a chat with you about it, because you're not alone. I was just typical me and didn't actually speak to anybody about it because I don't, and because I just thought, this is nothing. Like, oh my gosh, the horses that I've ridden in the past and the things that I've dealt with, like, this was nothing. But I think it felt big because my girls were involved. I don't think I was really as frightened. For me, I was frightened that I would come off. I'm older and creakier now, I used to be young and bouncy, but I was worried that I would come off, hurt myself, and then not be able to do any of it, and that would just be the end of like my girls' journey. And I had such a fantastic childhood growing up with horses, horse shows, all my horsey friends, that I really want that for my kids. And when they said that they wanted it, I was like, yes. But yeah, so I just thought I'd share my little journey with our little Toby Tots, and I hope that you found that helpful. And like I said before, if you want to chat about anything, you're totally not alone. Just reach out and we'll have a little chat. Take care. Bye.